Okay.
I believe that our society has conditioned us to believe that love is something that we are given, it's something that we find, it's something that we feel once somebody else comes into our life and gives us that. But really, what love is it's something that's within you that you have to practice. You have to practice. It's literally a choice. It's you wake up every day and you're like, I'm deciding to feel love today. I feel love in the air that I'm breathing when I'm walking. I feel love
Right.
in who I am right now, in the
Right.
opportunity that lies ahead of me, and literally being alive on this earth at this
Yes.
current moment.
So can Jack explain this in a scientific way as I understand it on how the brain underlying works? Because you're so correct.
I would love to hear your thoughts.
So our brain is really two different programs. One is your awareness, which is like your monologue. And then the other aspect of it is a subconscious internal compute that is happening, which is feeding directly into your monologue. Your upper monologue is your ability to change the subconscious monologue. It has power over it, but only when you take awareness of that internal monologue, dissect what is going on inside of it, and start choosing aspects and hacking that internal monologue and hacking the subconscious monologue that's going on. And if you're someone who has used ChatGPT, or really that one is the biggest one, you'll be right back. Then you've had this.
I hope you kept going because that was tragic. I lost an hour.
So I'm right saying that if you've used ChatGPT, you might have used the idea of prompt engineering or of context window. Both of these things simply change and direct the output of the underlying supercomputer that is in that. You're giving the monologue stream to prompt the subconscious of this thing to act in a certain way. Custom instructions is just this fill in. That's actually what your ego is. Your internal sense of self is a custom instruction sheet, which you do not know of. You do not have full access to. You can start accessing it and reading into it once you take an awareness of that subconscious monologue. You can start to see some of the programming that's happening in there. And I don't think we have done enough understanding of how to reprogram that subconscious ego and identity state. In talking about it's a practice, that love is a practice, what is the most efficient way to practice? Similarly, in workout, you have personal trainers who teach you how to do reps correctly. You push the bar up slowly. You make sure that you're really feeling it inside of the muscles, and you let it come back down.
Well, this is why I love Joe Dispenza so much, because this is the specific practice that he really focuses on. And to take it even like a step further, when you can get yourself into these energetic states and you're existing with them in them for like quite a while, that is when your like I forgot magnetic wavelengths actually like emit out, and that is literally manifestation at its core. It's like your wavelengths of love are like, it's kind of, what does he always say? He says you have to feel it before you can have it. And most people think it's the opposite way around. It's like, oh, well, when I find somebody that gives me love, then I'll feel it. But really, it's like, no, you have to feel it first, and then it's actually comes to you in all different sorts of forms that you like or otherwise wouldn't really see. I forgot though. I'll send that one to you. I think you would like it because it makes a lot of sense.
Conceptual understanding that I have is that through our egoic filter that exists, this context window is taking the prompt in of the universe, of the state that you're in within the universe, and it's filtering out what to think about it, which is thus defining your action, which is thus defining the new environments that you'll find yourself in and the way that you'll think about those. And so the process of changing that filter is really neurochemistry. And neurochemistry is simply neurons that fire together, wire together. At an internal state, the reason why psychedelics allow you to actually experience entirely new perspectives is that it completely diminishes the default mode network of your brain. Your default mode network is where your ego stems from, which is why in high doses you're reaching something called ego death, because your default mode network is no longer functioning and you're experiencing reality through a completely clear state. Now, this is typically...
Well, isn't your subconscious opening too?
Your subconscious is being made conscious.
Right, exactly.
Because you are abstracting away your custom instruction window. You are accessing your base model.
Yes.
So we've been RLHF. This is the term used to describe the process of turning ChatGPT into a specific thing, which then specific way. We have had that same sequence done to us, and over time that's formed our ego, the way we view ourselves, the filter and the character that we play. So returning to the base model, it's somewhat like throwing an avalanche down on a ski slope. Normally you have all the same ski lanes that you're going down, somewhat maybe venturing off the path every now and then, but it's kind of difficult. You must try. You wipe a fresh slate, you ski down entirely new slopes, and then eventually the avalanche goes away. So the old ones are there and the new ones are there. This is why it's transformative for people who have been addicted to drugs, is they can groove such a hard line into the anti-drug part of a fanatic realization that this is the main thing destroying all of their hopes, dreams, and potential. And they finally get to access this other perspective of how great those hopes, dreams, and their potential can truly be. They understand that they can get there. They find belief, they find hope, and they find faith. Now, once you find faith, the really big difficulty is keeping it. Religions are institutions which were created as a wrapper to build faith and to build community around faith. And it is a filtering mechanism through which we can perceive the world through a certain lens that was prescribed to us. These prescriptions, of course, don't have an evolution that has paired up with our modern age. The same way that the world has evolved farther than our brains have evolved. You know, our brain used to be in harmony with our natural environment. It was codified to perfect us. Then we invented capitalism, which is a power mechanism with the capability to take advantage of these internal mechanisms. And that's why most of every single company is selling to a lot of these lower vibrational states. As we reach a certain point in the world where we start to recognize how much we need to recalibrate, we're starting to give attention to that and to value recalibration. So we're seeing, I think, a lot of awareness for the need of spirituality, the need of self-improvement. And this is coming from many different factors, but existential awareness and awareness of things being broken is something which gives people strength when they have the right community.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do agree with that stuff, but I also think not to be confused with like religion and spirituality being I don't think that religion and spirituality really does that much for the way that you're viewing yourself. It really does more for like what you were just explaining about faith and like futuristically, but not necessarily like love for thyself. At least, sorry, I should say from my experience. I don't know about other people.
Yeah, I would say everyone has a different relationship with these theologies on an entire vast spectrum. And what we're seeing right now in the world is that some of the extremism of the connection to some of the old adages within these ideas are causing people to justify and rationalize absolute complete murder.
Yeah.
And the thing that's great is that all these religions do have the same path towards treat others how you want to be treated. So they all push us towards our higher selves. But there are, of course, lots of sayings in this book and lots of ways to interpret those sayings. And there are extremist groups within who think that the number one thing they need to do is take maximum conviction for exactly what this thing says, rather than having any sense of self or free thinking to think, oh, is this helping me? And so they've lost this sense of their God-given free will and agency.
I definitely agree with that. And I actually think I watched the YouTube video that you sent me the other day, and I loved the part where she was saying that she like deleted her Instagram and Twitter, but I just did that myself because I'm like, the amount of information that we are constantly consuming, whether it's you even are reading a Bible or listening to somebody else that's religious that should have the same values of you as you and everything, we are like subconsciously opening up our subconscious to so much information on a daily basis that we don't even understand what we're actually consuming. And it's like creating these filters is so important when it comes to like, how do I actually want to think? How do I actually want to believe? And like so many people are not even thinking that way.
Right.
Like you're literally just scrolling and and you think that you're not taking any of it in. You think you're not agreeing with things, but it's like literally just being absorbed.
Every single piece is hacking your subconscious, and you're being pushed to the bottom of your brainstem because the feed is being recommended to you based on what is going to maximize the extraction of your soul. It is a soul-sucking demon as much much as there are tidbits of good information, I just don't think we recognize the opportunity cost of if we do have a healthy diet of consumption and we have algorithms which sort stuff based on what leads us to the top of our cortex. What does an enlightened feed look like? And I think we've seen the beginning of that on the Holy Bible app. And it's one external mechanism, a tool to raise my consciousness, a tool that I think can collectively grow and be a community tool to raise consciousness together. And that's so exciting because AI is so powerful. It's transformational. It's transforming the world in the way that we spread information. And our nervous system has been hijacked to not sort for the best signals, but to look at every individual cell and think, how can I gain as much power away from this cell and give it to the ones up here who own the platform?
Well, thank you so much for creating such a wonderful thing.
The other aspect that I want to finish, because I don't think I ever really did, and I'm sorry for delaying. So the process to do your neurohacking is not just affirmations, but what needs to be understood is that we store information in our subconscious based on the amount of emotional valence that it derives. So we are compressing all the
emotional quotient that we put into that feeling alone
is such an obvious thing when you get down to the subjective experience we all have of what do you remember in life, the things which you feel.
Not to cut you off, but do you know that trauma is not actually what you even experience or the type of the event, but the amount of emotion that you had at that specific moment in time?
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy though? Like that is like you almost create, like I know somebody that I feel like has gone through the worst things in life and they like don't even think that they've experienced trauma. Because to them, they like dealt with it so well that it's like it didn't stick with them. They got rid of it and moved through it really quickly. And I just think like that's really cool to think about.
100%.
Anyway, go on.
That's a thing. And I think the mechanism for raising this vibrational state, or basically having a better, if we could ascribe every single context window that one has as having a certain state of beingness in the world, how effective is this state? And then how do we get there? What is the affirmations that we should feel the most emotional valence towards? The book that we listened to said that the best one in the world is to repeat to yourself and to embody this feeling of, I love myself. And I think this is 100% in the right direction. I'm not sure if that is the best. I don't think he's come across.
I don't think it is. Should we create some? I think this is good.
I'm enjoying testing different ones, almost like I'm hitting the gym and then I'm trying to see how good of a pump I got the next day.
I have one for you. The one that I love the most.
It does take time. It really takes practice.
Yes.
Gratitude is my favorite thing to embody.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I also think for me, by far, the most powerful ones have been visualizations. Like when I'm actually visualizing myself, hugging myself, and can kind of feel like, no, I'm not even kidding. Like if you sit in a meditation for 10 minutes and actually hug yourself while visualizing yourself, hugging yourself,
when I'm visualizing myself, am I looking at another person or is it just me?
It's kind of more of like, I just imagine like an outline almost of my body, but just like you're kind of hugging a friend, but like literally know that it's you.
Interesting. I also think that likely in this world of affirmations, it's not super monogamous or one size fits all. It's likely really subjective as to which key piece of programming needs to be added to your specific context window for the time in your life. Like what resonates or does the most positive impact. Because there's lots of different virtues and values that each different affirmation is increasing or rising out of you.
Totally.
So I like, for now, obviously I haven't done longer testing, but like I have a lot of self-love. I'm maybe bordering on too much self-love. You know, like I think that the number one things that I look for myself to increase right now is my humility and gratitude. And those essences are, you know, if you like look at your body and like which muscles do I need to work out is essentially the same.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to do curls? So like each different affirmation can be ascribed to like hitting legs or arms. And I think like spiritual people would call it hitting different chakras.
I like that. I think mine would be, I have a lot of self-love for myself in certain areas that I know that I'm like really, really great in. I think one of mine that I've realized though is like sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, why am I not more confident? But then I thought about it and I'm like, I think confidence stems from one, like really knowing your uniqueness instead of being embarrassed to an extent of like being different about certain things. It's like leaning fully into that to the point where you're like, I'm so different and interesting because of X, Y, and Z.
I'm so different, babe.
That when you are, and then when, and you're so in that embodiment that you have reached a point where you don't give a fuck if anyone doesn't vibe with you. Because you're just like, when you know you're really different, you like know people won't, there will be people that don't vibe with you. Like that's just a thing. But it's like because you just like love yourself for being that unique sense, it's like great.
Yeah.
You know, and now have realized that that's kind of what it is. And yeah, so now it's really just about I gotta work on my chakra for full embodiment.
Amazing.
I'm getting there though.
That's what you're working on. You're working on the heart chakra.
Yeah, like even just writing more and doing things that I know I'm
I don't even know it.
like your throat chakra.
Like that's what you think I'm working on? My throat?
No, you
Oh.
asked what a chakra was, right?
I'm like
It's like
looking at,
energy points. Like you have chakras, like
right. So I'm saying you're working on your heart chakra. That's what's not
is that what
firing most for your aura balance. I'm trying to, there's the
maybe my third eye.
intuition, sense of purpose and direction in life. Okay. Connection to the divine. Dude, my crown's going fucking crazy recently. Straight up. I crown maxed early on.
I probably crown maxed and then less crown maxed and then we're back.
We're crown maxing again. I guess my
Your throat chakra is high as fuck.
my self-expression.
What is the solar plexus?
That's my worst one, is my solar plexus.
What is it?
Emotional issues, self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem.
Oh, that's the one I just explained. Hey, I feel like that yours is high. That's mine.
Maybe it's my
Yours is your heart. I think yours is your heart.
maybe mine's my sacral chakra.
What's that one?
Sense of abundance, well-being. No, I do abundance well. Pleasure, sexuality. I don't have a good relationship with I love basketball. Highest pleasure. So like I did just fall in love with going to basketball yesterday. It made me feel so good.
Oh, that's good.
I forget how just like important it is to fucking exercise.
I feel like
Maybe my root chakra's messed up. Yeah, my foundation, feelings of being grounded. You know what? Fuck it. All my chakras are doing great. No, that's actually like what the practice is. You have to believe you're winning in order to win. Like if you're looking for what your problem is, you'll find it. If you're looking for what your solutions are, you'll find them.
your heart chakra is the ability to show love and compassion.
Okay, so my heart chakra's messed up.
I'm gonna go to an energy healer. Have her unblock my solar plexus.
Okay, what's up? Okay, so give me let's do a mantra for the solar plexus and for the heart chakra. Like let's think of the perfect. So maybe since you're advanced in heart, you can give me a good chakra that you naturally feel and know that makes you good at love. And I'll think of one for your solar plexus.
Okay. Are we doing like one-liners?
Yeah.
Like
Do you
love,
want it just to like
love
hit
pours out of me
a
to
core
everyone and
program.
everything. What?
A core program. And I guess also maybe one way to rate how good a thing is how uncomfortable it feels. Because like does
Yeah,
that
very much so.
really? Because
Yeah.
that one feels like I realize that that's the truth, but like I'm not embodying that. Like
Interesting.
I read that and I feel like a somewhat of an ick, but the ick is in the wrong place. It's like ick because it's a recognition of
Yeah.
how powerful that is and how much more I can do it. So it's a really good ick.
How do you feel about everyone that I come into contact with feels love from me? I don't know if I like that or not, but
It's too long.
yeah.
Everyone I touch, let's try to make it short.
Everyone I touch feels my love.
Make this much shorter. You're looking at an image from GPT or just like new images forming. GPT creating videos to emotional valence hack you on a certain emotion as a form of hypnotism. Hypnotism's getting more powerful. That is a really good insight. I want that.
Do you want to unblock your chakras with me?
The affirmation generator. Hypnotize yourself to become great. I can have that built. I am looking for the most powerful mantra in the world for my heart chakra. I would love to unblock my chakras with you.
Thank you.
All feel my love. Wow, my heart chakra is gonna get so big and I'm gonna be so kind. Give me more examples. Love radiates from me. Hypnotism! That's what it all is. All media is hypnotizing you. It's all a persuasion. It's all manipulating you.
Sometimes good.
Every moment, every thought, I am becoming the best version of myself. I asked, I am looking for the most powerful thing to repeat to myself in the world. What do you think it is and why? I am trying to program my subconscious and use the idea that neurons that fire together wire together to bring my subconscious to its highest state. And that was the thing it produced. It said, every moment, every thought emphasizes the continuous nature of personal growth and the impact of every thought on this journey. It reminds you that every moment is an opportunity for growth. I am becoming. This phrase is the present continuous tense, which often used in affirmations to suggest an ongoing process. It's a reminder that growth is a journey, not a destination. The best version of myself. This is the ultimate goal. It's not about comparing yourself to others, but about becoming the best you can be.
True.
I am becoming death, destroyer of worlds. I am become death, destroyer of evil worlds. Challenges are opportunities that shape my resilience and strength. Affirmation generator. It generates new affirmations. You repeat it to the screen while it generates images. Hypnotism class. This is gonna be big. I'm gonna send this video to Michael. It's time to build stuff that hacks our vibrational states to their highest. Magic for the self. To rise and reach a spiritual awakening, a spiritual singularity, to front run the technological one. The most important thing we can do is upgrade our ability to resonate with the future in a positive way.
Yes.
All right. I thought this was a really good session. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
My chakras feel so good.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. I was doing affirmations. This was such a good session. Seriously, I thought this was a therapy session.
Feel free to come back to therapy anytime.
Brutal good.
I'm free usually from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Is there? Why don't you start a podcast where you do therapy?
I'm doing it on TikTok.
Therapy cast?
Yeah, I literally will. I haven't really done much, but every single time I'm done with therapy, I will literally just go on there and talk and be like, "This is what we talked about."
Nice.
I should actually do like that every day and start off the videos by being like, "If you don't want to pay for therapy, just follow me here. I'll tell you everything you need to know."
Yeah. I also think like getting cool guests and doing a podcast.
Well, I think that would come with time.
100%. I'm saying you can go there quicker if that fills your
Yeah, I could.
chakra.
Honestly, I feel like I would be low-key pretty good at the podcast. The only
100%.
thing I need to work on is I'm really not a great speaker.
I think that
I think speaking takes a lot of confidence.
great speaker and you have the confidence and you can embody that and you'll quickly will enter that state and improve through doing it. And that I want you to keep understanding that there's so much opportunity of high level traction states that you can think of and unlock, such as hitting up the people in your network with certain ideas and big things of stuff that maybe has been outside of Sarah's character model, but is stuff that's like lottery tickets to go and say, hey, I was thinking of doing this, and whatever feels right.
Yeah.
I think that is so much fun to explore.
I agree with you. I do think that I was telling you about my friend Sebastian that has his TikTok channel with 200,000 followers, and he literally talks only about spiritual, like mental things or whatever, and every single time we hang out it's just such a vibe because he is so into this shit and I'm so into it, and he's like, Sarah, literally just get on TikTok and start talking and post like 3 times a day, and if you could grow your channel, like maybe at some point I could even do a podcast with him, or like he has connections in the thing. But I really think I know TikTok can be hard, but it's also like if I could even just get like a small following, I feel like it could open up a lot of doors for me.
100%.
So that's kind of what I was thinking about. I'm also in the middle of I'm just doing my personal website right now where I have all my writings and my art.
I'm excited to see it.
I'll send it to you when it's done.
Sweet.
You want to have a podcast together? Maybe we should do a podcast.
Okay, sounds good.
Yay. Cool.